Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Freedman. Our next guest up is Ryan O'Hara, founder and CEO of Pitchfire. Ryan, welcome to Radio Entrepreneurs.
Thanks for having me on, Jonathan. What's up?
Hey, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business, what it is that you do? I know you're a startup guy and you work with a lot of startup companies. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? So I'm Ryan O'Hara, founder of Pitchfire. I started, well, co-founder, I guess. I started it with my CTO, Vivian Spencer. I came out of the sales world. So I worked as a VP of marketing and growth at this company called Lead IQ. And every year that we were there, we would do this state of prospecting where we'd ask our users, we sold like contact data and stuff so that you could like go reach out to people. And I'd ask users like, hey, what's your average reply rate on a cold email? What's your average connect rate on a cold call? The first year we did it in 2016, the average reply rate on a cold email was 6%, and the average connect rate on a cold call was 10%. The last year that we did it in 2021, the average reply rate on a cold email was only 0.7%, and the average connect rate on a cold call was under 3%. Clearly,
Wow.
something's happened, and I saw this and I was like, man, how are companies supposed to build pipeline? And today, if you go talk to companies, some of you listening to this might think this too. Almost 80% of B2B companies out there are missing their pipeline number.
So is it a function of just too much noise or consumers and or business people getting savvy to the rush? Don't respond to emails because it could be spam or somebody that's trying to drown you in something. And don't ever answer. Let my phone go to voicemail because I don't want to engage with somebody that may be trying to sell me something. Was that
Yeah,
yeah? What were
yeah.
the
So
forces at play?
naturally, when I saw these results, I started to be like, man, maybe we need to start thinking about what's the next level of prospecting. And I put on my cool Sherlock Holmes jacket and what do you wear? Like a what do you call that hat that Sherlock Holmes wore? You know what I'm talking about, people.
The very tweety
Yeah, but
I
quiet.
got
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
right.
So I started to investigate this a lot more, and a couple things that I learned is that first off, if you work in B2B, compared to 10 years ago, you spend way less time in your inbox than you used to. Uh, the rise of Microsoft Teams, Slack, internal communication platforms like that make it so that when you're trying to communicate with people internally, you're not doing that in your inbox, you're doing that somewhere else. So there's
Hmm.
that aspect of it. One of the roads that you drive on to get in front of someone is cold email. There'll be 746 billion prospecting touches sent today, this year, and over email makes up the majority of them. Now, you could be like, oh, okay, so I'll just cold call instead. Well, if you cold call people, they literally default have phone settings now on Android and Apple devices that say if the number is not saved in your contacts, it goes right to voicemail.
Right.
So there's that element of it. The other thing is the volume that people do for prospecting has gone up. I call it the outbound paradox. Basically, B2B companies that do cold calling, cold emailing have to do more volume because reply rates have gone up, which causes them to have to do more volume because reply rates continue to go down the more volume people get. And so we're kind of heading toward this trend where it's zero. The most alarming number is there's a study that was published by SalesLoft in 2021 that said that it took in sales engagement platforms, for people that don't know that, it's like sales automation where you can like put a contact in a railroad of activities like calls, emails, LinkedIn message. It takes 220 touches to produce a conversation with a prospect.
Wow.
Just a conversation. And that's not even
So that
including
can be
like
in all
replies.
mediums. That can be through email or that can be an actual live touch, what have you. But
LinkedIn,
220.
yeah, LinkedIn or phone. So I saw this stuff happening and I was like, well, how do I get people to come in and want to have some sort of incentive for getting back to a salesperson? Because right now it's annoying. The whole culture of cold email and cold calling is so polarizing. Unless you work in sales, most people hate getting cold emailed and called. And so I started to think, well, okay, if marketing is going to go spend $3,500 on average to produce a meeting in B2B, why aren't we just giving that money directly to the people we're trying to prospect? And that's how Pitchfire started.
Hmm. So tell
So,
us a little bit. So the brainchild, you understood the marketplace. Tell us about Pitchfire and what it is that you guys do.
yeah, so Pitchfire is a paid prospecting platform. And what we're trying to do is allow companies to deploy paid prospecting in their go-to-market motion. So there's four different ways you can do it. The first way that we do it is we get companies that are trying to get pipeline. They'll come to us, give us some capital, give us data of people they're trying to reach out to, and we'll go contact those people and offer them money to come in and answer a sales pitch. And the cool part is if they don't respond, it doesn't cost anything. It's similar to like what paid per click used to be on social when you did paid advertising. You only pay if you get a response back from a prospect. Now, a lot of people hear this and they're like, I tried paid meetings. I've done some things like conferences where you pay for meetings. This is not paid meetings. We actually did that originally and it pivoted because it didn't work. We
So it
the
sounds
bit
a little bit like a model, like if I may, almost like a research model, right? You're paying people to participate on some level.
Yeah, you pay them to just answer your prospecting. And if they say they're not interested, they have to give a reason why they're not interested, which you can then use next time you reach out to them. Like you get that insight, you can be like, oh, all right, 6 months from now, I'm going to reach back out to them. And if they say they're interested, what it does is it instantly will book on whoever you designate to pitch, like whoever's account ends up sending the pitch. They can book right on that person's calendar or start a conversation with them and go back and forth and ask a bunch of questions. So we're trying
And
to do
and
that whole element.
and are the questions or once the engagement happens, are the questions geared towards teasing out obviously pain points, things of that nature? Is it that specific to the particular prospect and where their pain points may be with the solution that the provider's offering, or is it more generic in terms of trying to generate some sort of dialogue and engagement?
The only thing that's canned ahead of time is the objection reason. So if you're not interested, we did this open answer for like 6 months and realized everything categorized into like these 12 different answers.
Mhm.
So like the only thing that's canned is that. Otherwise, you can say anything you want as a sales team. If you're like, I don't want to do discovery yet, I want to build a relationship more, you can do that. If you want to jump right into discovery after they say something, you can. The biggest output that we see, and this is why it's magical, in real life, if you do normal traditional prospecting, it takes 220 touches to produce a meeting with a prospect. On Pitchfire, it takes 3. So all you
Wow.
have to, it's 74x better to spend your time on it. Now, the hardest part of that, so that's one way people use us. Another way that we're getting people to use us is they'll actually go build a pitch inside Pitchfire wrapped around an event or a webinar that they did, and they'll orally plug that pitch and say, hey, everyone at this webinar, instead of just sending you a recording, I'm going to send you a paid pitch. Go in and answer it and tell us if you're interested in talking to our sales team or not. By the way, the recording link will be in that pitch. And companies will do this. They'll get like a 6 to 12% conversion rate on webinar attendees turning into meetings, which is crazy in B2B. No one goes to meetings after they go to a webinar. It's one of the reasons only 43% of companies out there today are still doing webinars.
Hmm.
Um,
Really incredible results. So tell us what type of prospects, what type of companies, where have you seen some traction for Pitchfire or greatest traction? Is it in a particular vertical, product, service, etc.?
Yeah, so right now, naturally with a startup, you want to focus on a particular area, and because it's a two-sided marketplace, every person that answers those prospecting outreach that we're doing when we do paid prospecting campaigns for someone, or if they come in from a webinar, also joins into a marketplace on Pitchfire. And the concentration has primarily been people that work in B2B in go-to-market roles. So if it's a VP of sales, VP of marketing, demand generation, founder of a smaller startup, that's kind of been the sweet spot that's dense. Doing these two things that I talked about earlier have produced about 2,700 buyers in our marketplace that you can literally just go browse and pitch right now and pick who you want to pitch. If you want to do stuff with the paid prospecting campaigns, you got to talk to us because we want to service you and make sure we're going after the right buyers for you on that end. And the last element of this that's really interesting that makes it kind of fun is every person that joins Pitchfire can fund their paid prospecting by using our inbox plugins that we make. So we make an Outlook plugin, a Gmail plugin, and a Chrome plugin. And anytime you get cold called or cold emailed, you could say, hey, email me here. And then in one click, you can reply back to that seller on LinkedIn or over email and say, go to my Pitchfire profile, pitch me here. And what it does is it threads the email, which kicks you out of sales automation. And if they decide to pitch you, 40% of that pitch money will go toward your company to go spend on Pitchfire. 40% goes to you, and we obviously are going to take a 20% cut. That's our transaction fee. But the idea here is that we're getting a lot of random people in the marketplace because it's really based on who cold emailed that person. So every person that's selling on Pitchfire is also sending people that are selling to them on Pitchfire to fund their prospecting. So we'll see like I'll see someone, we want it to be a dense network, but like unfortunately, like people get cold emailed by the most random places. So it's sometimes there are some random things that will come in and out. For example, there'll be a company that will sell health insurance to employees that will come in and go fill out and send a pitch to someone and join. And then there'll be another company that sells analytics software for marketers, which that's a much cooler area for us. Like someone like that would be a better fit because their customer acquisition cost is so high. But yeah, that's kind of
So,
who's been getting on there.
so as a member joining Pitchfire, I don't know if member is the right term, subscriber, etc. Can I tailor what I'm looking for in terms of which pitches? I mean, is there some way of filtering, narrowing, etc., or
We
how does that
will,
work?
yeah, we will get there eventually. The thing is, when you send someone to Pitchfire, it takes 60 or 70 cold emails that you get to get someone to actually come in and put a pitch. So like right now, the volume level isn't that high. Once the volume gets higher, we're going to turn on filters. The way we sort a pitch, if you're a buyer, is we sort it by the dollar amount. So when a seller comes in and writes a pitch, let's say I'm a business and I want to pitch you, I can pick to offer you $25 to $2,000 on this slider. And based on how much I offer you, that's how high I'll end up in your Pitchfire inbox to look at pitches. Most of our buyers pick the most expensive pitches to go answer, and they'll work their way down. Right now, the nice part is you're not like it, we're not talking about someone losing like days a week doing this. It literally is something you do 1 or 2 minutes a week and you can get through all your pitches.
Excellent. Are you finding, not to put you too much on the spot, but on the back end, conversion stickiness on the pitches? What's happening there?
Yeah, so far we did a survey. We've had about $25,000 in payouts to our users, and we did a survey following up with the reps that did it. We were able to conclude that the pitches that were answered generated $1.7 million in revenue for businesses doing it so far. And
Fantastic.
it's about roughly it's a couple hundred pitches if you do the math out. The average pitch on Pitchfire right now is $63. So you don't even have to spend that much to get in front of somebody. 1 in 3 of those pitches is turning into a meeting. We're talking $180 CAC basically to get someone in their funnel and talk to them.
Wonderful. And is there a is it subscription based? So if somebody signs up for a period of time, how does the model work?
It's completely free. The only money that we take out is when you get a response. So if you're a seller or a business that's sending a pitch to someone, we take a 20% cut. If you're a buyer, when you get your pitch offered to you, you see that offer with our cut already taken out. So like that's how you see it. We're just taking a 20% cut on the back end for every transaction that happens.
Got it. Well, wonderfully innovative. Here's a guy who saw the
Thanks.
challenge in the marketplace and applied something towards fixing it. Ryan, if people want to reach out, talk more about your company, talk about how to get engaged with Pitchfire, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, if you want to do some paid prospecting, I think almost every company in 2025 should be doing paid prospecting in addition to normal prospecting and paid marketing. If you want to kick off a campaign like this, go to our website, pitchfire.com, and you can go talk to us. If you want to see content that's interesting and fun and cool about marketing and sales and pipeline gen, go add me on LinkedIn and follow me on LinkedIn. I put out a video pretty much every week that's usually fun and interesting about what's going on in the space.
Fantastic. Our guest has been Ryan O'Hara, founder and CEO of Pitchfire. It's been a pleasure having you on Radio Entrepreneurs.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys.
And we'll be right back with another segment on Radio Entrepreneurs.